And with that, welcome back to a Victory Monday on Sports on the Hill podcast. I know that Carol just went live, and we'll definitely be sharing that to a bunch of different Redskins groups right now. And Carol, I'll let you take the first crack at it. I know it's a big victory, one that not very many people on this show predicted it would happen. In fact, nobody, I think, did. So what were some of your takeaways initially, and then we'll break it down.
Boy, oh boy. You said it correctly, Robbie. I definitely didn't see the Redskins winning this game, going on the road to Seattle, the injuries, Jay's last three coaching debacles, in my opinion. And it was a pleasant surprise to see the defense step up like the way they did. If you tuned into the post-game hot takes, you know how much I love defense, and you know how impressed I was with this defense. And I just found out earlier today, I mentioned this earlier on someone else, that we only dressed 43 players. On Sundays, you have a 53-man roster. On Sundays, you dress 46. We only dressed 43 players. Now, the fact that we went to Seattle on the road in one of the toughest places to play in the league against one of the top home quarterbacks in the league and found the way to win despite Jay Gruden and his play calling shows how good this team can be and how talented they are. Now, I've talked to a couple of folks. Leonard Kirby, he's probably tuning in soon. He says I'm too hard on Jay. Now, I've been patient. I've been critical. When he's done good, I'm going to pat him on the back. When he's done bad, I'm going to step on his throat. In these last 4 games, he has been outcoached in every phase of the game in all of those games. Think back to all of them. The first quarter, the Redskins dominated. But what happened? The opposing coach made adjustments going into the second quarter, and it ate the Redskins up because Jay was standing there on the sideline looking like a deer in the headlights, like he didn't know what to do. So if you look at the 2 scoring drives that enabled the Redskins to win, he had 9 scoring drives that did absolutely nothing. He got pass happy too early. The run-pass ratio was better this game. It was 31 passes to 23 rushes, which is good. It's still not what I want. I want balance. When we have balance, we run the ball more than we pass, we win almost 95, 90, about 99% of the time. But this man wants to constantly line up in 3 or 4 wide receivers and throw the ball like it's the Arena League. If you was watching yesterday and following me on the feeds, I'm starting a hashtag. Hashtag Bill Callahan for OC. Whenever y'all on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, throw that hashtag out there, man. It's time to get this dude about the play calling dudes. If I could sit here in my living room and call the plays before they even line up and know what they're about to call, it's ridiculous. He has no imagination. He doesn't set up his plays. He has no strategy. And he's basically pulling plays out of his ass just to call them. You saw what happened yesterday with Pete Carroll. They didn't get the running game together. What did he do? He brought in an extra offensive line. What did Jay do? Let's throw the ball some more. You get a safety against you because you decide to pass the ball on your 2 with backup linemen who's only been on the team for 2 weeks. They get the safety. The defense makes another stand. And what do you do the immediate next play? Go to another pass and get sacked again. Now, a smart coach would say, okay, we're going to go jumbo. We're going to run the ball. We're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. This man, he goes to the Madden playbook. Let's go 9 routes. Let's do this. Let's go 3 wide. Why? It makes no sense to me. This victory was in despite Jay Gruden. Greg Minuski deserves kudos for this win. But unfortunately, Jay Gruden is the head coach, so he's going to get the credit. And I saw him yesterday. I didn't even have the sound on the post game, but I saw him standing there with his chest poked out, having all the answers. But when we lose, oh, I got to look at the film. Oh, he throwing a player under the bus. Oh, this wide receiver didn't do this. Oh, this safety got caught up on that. He wants to pass the buck to everybody when it's a loss, but when it's a win, he wants to stand there with his chest poked out like he knew it was going to happen. I know he changed his draws at halftime because he had to be scared, not knowing what to do, and seeing that everything he was calling was doo-doo. We know who the offensive genius was at his offense last year. He's in LA right now, leading the league in offense, putting up a 51 burger yesterday. His running back got 10 total touchdowns. Our whole backfield don't have 10 total touchdowns. It's time for that man to give up play calling duties. Do it like Dallas with Jason Garrett. Put him as a figurehead. Minuski runs the defense. Callahan runs the offense, and he stands at the podium looking stupid like he does every week in and week out, and he's just the head coach of the figurehead. That's what I got to say about the offense. What did you take away from the offense, Robbie?
I thought a lot of players stepped up. I know that the much maligned wide receiving core, I think that they made some big plays and when in key moments. I know that they didn't necessarily do it all game long, but especially with Josh Johnson's catch down the field to basically save our bacon. I mean, that's the game right there. He doesn't make that play. And if Kirk Cousins, to be honest, if he doesn't make that throw, I know it wasn't a perfect throw, but he got it there, and they connected, and it's all that really matters. I know that we didn't have that many great drives. You wrote a great article, and I watched your video. I was on it for part of it yesterday for an hour. We broke down a lot of that game, but it was really interesting to watch. We were able to at least make some big plays down the field when we needed to, and I know that we definitely need to run it more. We need to disguise our stuff more. We need to do a lot of things, but with the amount of injuries and only dressing 43 people, we have too many injuries for our injured list. I mean, that's just an incredible statistic, and we're able to do it. I want to give a lot of credit. I know we'll talk to defense in a second, but D'Angelo Hall coming back, man, he's my MVP. I was listening to him on a radio show. Name was he was with Santana Moss, and he was just talking about how hungry he was for the game and how he wanted to get his hands on the ball. And I was just so impressed with D'Angelo Hall's play, especially on that last play of the game, because if he's not in it, there's a chance to come down with that ball. I'm not saying for sure they did, but he had a lot to do with the reason why we won. I've seen that play go the other way. Too many different games, especially Seattle down the stretch in Arena Stadium. It wouldn't have surprised me if it had been a Hail Mary. So I was very proud of D'Angelo for coming back and making an immediate effort in that. And from the offensive players, he did just enough plays to win it. And I like to think that D'Angelo also did some returns, and Crowder was injured. So he made some plays all around the field. But obviously, the reason we won that game is our defense. So I'll let you break that down.
All right, before I get to the defense, since you brought up that guy we aren't going to mention, we're going to mention him. Because I meant to mention it during the post game, because I got the word from my cousin, Anthony Perez. I know you probably tuning in later on. He called me Friday and told me what Santana and Chad was talking about. Chad Dukes, who is the person we're not going to name, Hurts House, he got a little thing going with him now. Me and Chad Dukes had a beef a few years back. He blocked me a while back when I challenged to a sports knowledge, competition, and he's scared because he don't know nothing. This man had the audacity to say on radio that the Redskins should rest their starters and take the loss because there was no way that they would win in Seattle. And you know who co-signed? Santana Moss. But he had the nerve to sit there yesterday on the post game and act like everything was cool. How can you even say something like that if you're a football fan or you're an ex-football player, that you should just lay down and take the loss because you don't have a shot? That's something some ignorant person like Chad Dukes would say. And I hope this gets back to him.
Interview, to be honest. I heard a very different part where they were discussing a lot more about Miami versus Virginia Tech, which ended up being a good game, as it always is. So they were chatting up about a bunch of different stuff, but I wouldn't dismiss me if Chad Dukes really did the replay, cut out that first part and just played the second part, because that would be a very Chad Dukes thing to do. But but back to the game at hand, let's break down the defense and how exciting it was. I like that.
Hey, Rev T, I see you, man. I can't say what you just said, but you right, bro. You right, bro. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
But that's our Facebook Live people that want to chime in. But I agree that we shouldn't even listen to him. But I wish that Santana Moss, I could listen to him without him. So if that happens, I would do it. So,
no doubt. All right, let's get off of that. Yeah, let's get off of that pump and let's talk about some Redskins defense, which was outstanding. You touched on it with D Hall coming back. As I mentioned in my article, with D Hall and Swearinger back there, I feel real comfortable back there. Nicholson, the rookie, he was out with injuries, and McClure, he was out also. But those two back there, I think they made the difference with this defense this week. I hadn't seen this defense play this well, and I don't know, I can't even think about it when they played this well. They were getting 3 and outs, getting off the field, causing turnovers, getting pressure on the quarterback. A couple of times they weren't gap disciplined, but that's going to happen when you got a mobile quarterback and you're trying to get up the field. Ryan Kerrigan a couple of times got exposed, but he's playing with some nagging injuries, bad shoulder, bad hand, and some more stuff. So I understand that you're going to have lapses, but to me that was one of the best defensive games that I've seen from the Redskins defense in I don't know how long. It was Minuski mixed things up. He had Seattle guessing to the point where they had to start using the zone read more to give them more time because the linebackers were everywhere. They weren't over pursuing, but they were aggressive and they were decisive. They knew where to be. They knew when to line up, and they did what they had to do to get them off the field. Seattle put up 41 points the week before. They were struggling against points, so they barely got a touchdown against us. So, like I said, I'm going to go back to what I said before the season started. This unit would be a top 15 unit, top 10 without injuries. We're having injuries, and we're still in the top 10. This team is changing. This team is getting better. I had a couple of folks saying, they don't see it. They see things a different way. I understand that, but you got to look at what's going on right now and how well the team is playing. They haven't been blown out of any games. They've been in every game besides a couple of mistakes, a couple of bad penalties, a couple of bad turnovers, and some bad officiating, which I must say the officiating in this game was some of the best we've seen all year when it comes to officiating against the Redskins. There were some blown calls. I'm not saying they were perfect, but they played well. I mean, they refereed well. Rev T said Compton was good for the pass and coverage in the show. Yeah, I love Will Compton when he got benched for Zach Brown and Mason Foster. I was I didn't like it, but he came in there, he executed, and he made plays when they were there. He could have had like 2 or 3 interceptions. A couple of them went off his fingertips, a couple of them went off his hands. But that man showed he was ready for the next man up and ready to play, and he missed that starting spot. So we can definitely expect good things from him. Ryan Nestler says Lanier played well, got push up the middle. Yeah, he did. Dujanay Bland, who's a friend of the show, I was going to get him a call in, but unfortunately he had a scheduling conflict. He had talked about Lanier in the preseason, said to watch out for him, and if he ever got a chance to get in there, he's going to make a difference. And you did hear them call his name a couple of times. Rev T said Seattle attacked up the middle in the beginning of the game. Yeah, they checked the middle, and the defense started stepping up. Zach Brown was out there being a tackling machine, and that's when they started going to the zone read to give him more time because Preston Smith and Kerrigan was getting pressure on the outside, and the middle and the inside linebackers with Compton and Brown, they were all over the place. Room chimed in, said 16 penalties on Seattle and 3 missed field goals. Yeah, like they say, any given Sunday, Arun, any given Sunday, they was all wide left. I was putting up every time, just like in the old Madden game when Pat Summerall would say he shanked it, and that's what he did every time. Hey, I take an ugly loss over a pretty win any day. Preston Smith said that in week 2. I'm gonna keep on saying that all season because it's the damn truth. Bernie says Craig Hoffman and Chris Russell. Boy, I don't even want to talk about Chris Russell. So they made a great point today about confidence and ability at the end and last year because he couldn't run with a knee injury, getting the ability to roll in the short zone. Yeah, injuries, hamper everybody, but Zach Brown is a step up, and Mason Foster was playing, some good ball. He's gone for the season, so now Compton has a time to shine. It's a contract year for Foster. I know we all saw the controversial comments about him and Bruce Allen. If Bruce Allen, put him on IR so he wouldn't get the bonus because he had a number of snaps to get. Who knows? The bright might be on the wall. If Compton keeps playing well, maybe Foster's gone. Who knows? Mark Hanna says the trouble is stopping teams that had a run. Seattle has no rushing game like us, and we were able to come away with the W. Well, they've been pretty effective at stopping the run all season. They, excuse me, they gave up a 100-yard game last week, but before that, we were only averaging 90 yards giving up a game. So the run defense has been much improved. It's not, top 10, but they were getting the job done, and that's what you need. I mean, the offense was leaning on them a lot, and they were getting those yards and those losses when they were just holding on to the ball and the defense was worn out. So you have to take that into account also, which attributes to Jay's 3-and-out philosophy of pass when he gets down double-digit points. Robbie, before I answer any more questions, what was your take on the defense? I know you already touched on D-Hall, but what did you think about the overall outstanding performance of that defense?
I thought they were amazing. I only got to catch the last few minutes of the game live. I got to watch it with my grandfather, which was great. But it was a very nerve-wracking last few minutes. But when they made the final play that I was talking about earlier, that's the one that really counts. You got to bend but don't break, and they made just enough plays to win that game. But throughout the game, I know that they were rushing, getting some pressure on him. They wasn't letting the person get too many rushing yards. They were able to contain him decently. I know that was a bit of a fear going into it. But they were also just able to not let them do too much on offense. They were able to get some drives, but they were not able to put up touchdowns. And that was important because they forced them into some long field goal chances, which, as you talked about, they missed all three of them. So, penalties and field goals and stuff like that teams have to do. Watching the coach of Seattle after that game, he gave a lot of credit to Redskins. He said, we made a lot of mistakes, but it's a tough place to come into play and come in and get a victory. So no matter what happened, I know it wasn't a perfect game by any stretch, but it's definitely a very positive direction, especially because you have some really important games coming up in a very tough schedule that I'll know that we'll break down in a couple of minutes. But I also wanted to mention just real quickly the Capitals power play. I know that there's about a minute left on the power play. They're still trailing this game 2-1 with 35 left in the second period. But they had a couple of opportunities there, and we'll see if anything comes out of that game. But I just wanted to give a quick little scoring update. But I thought that our special team was better than it's been. It didn't lose us the game. I know we're not going to talk much about the special teams, but they did just enough plays, and there wasn't negative plays that we had been talking about in some of the previous games, which we shot ourselves in the foot. So I liked D'Angelo Hall back there. Do you think if it was Crowder back that we switch him back, or do you think that Hall has maybe some shorter hands and you'd like to see him back there?
I think it'd be good to keep D-Hall back there for another week. Crowder come back, let him, if he's want to be active this week, let him just stick to wide receiving and get, good at that. If D-Hall can do the job like he did pretty well yesterday, I say keep him back there. He's been out, up until now, so he has fresher legs anyway. He's healthy. Just go ahead and let him do it as long as he don't do nothing stupid like he did on that first punt return instead of calling for the fair catch and getting hit as soon as the ball got there. As long as we don't do that any time again, I think we'll be fine. But let me get to some of the comments. They coming in kind of fast. Let me get to some of them. Mark Hanna was saying, oh no, we already got that one. Rev T said we show our depth on defense and the leader is rising in Cousins. Cousins had a decent game. He need to get rid of the ball, on some of those throws and some of those sacks that he took when he should have got rid of when he had a chance. But, overall he had a positive game. He didn't mess it up. He managed the game well, got the offensive position to win, and he got the game-winning drive when he needed it. Mark also said it was crazy with the false starts with Seattle when we were the visiting team. Yeah, Seattle has a lot of lineman issues too. You heard them say they had brought in a couple more linemen, so chemistry is everything. You saw what our line looked like when we signed guys on Saturday to play on Sunday. So NFL, like they say, everybody got injuries, next man up. Unfortunately, their new guys cost them the penalties, which cost him field position, which could have cost him the game. Who knows? But we got the victory in a tough place to play. Move on. We got Minnesota coming in next week. Let's see. Bernie said it's great to have depth at linebacker. You definitely. Mark said losing Allen definitely hurt our interior. Yeah, it did, but even not having Ionitis yesterday, the guys, that they called up, Lanier and I forgot the other guy's name. But he got hurt late in the fourth quarter, but they were getting good push. They did their job and they stepped up and played well and were able to get down and dirty and control the line of scrimmage in there. They didn't have any running game going. Russell Wilson got most of the yards on scrambles. He only had one design run where he got yards on. So, like I said, you got to love this defense to where they're playing the next man up and the way things are going. Scott Langford said this was the first Redskins game he ever seen in the stadium. He said, what a great game. He loved watching the D punch him in the mouth. Then Clutch Kirk pull it out in the end. Doxy finally got to shine too. That's great you got to be there, Scott. I know you was enjoying that in your Redskins gear around all the Seattle fans. And I didn't touch on Doxson, but that definitely was a great catch. We've seen a couple of times previous that, he had the chance to make a catch. He'd get his hands on it, but couldn't come down with it. It was real good to see him finally be able to make a play. Hopefully Kirk can gain some confidence. He can gain some confidence, and he can start getting more in the rhythm and start throwing that ball to him like he throws it to Ryan Grant, Jamison Crowder, and Vernon Davis, who he has that confidence in.
Yeah, one little quick scoring update. It's 5 seconds left on the power play. There was a bit of a fight behind the net after an impossible shot attempt. The catch went off the post. It's just, I may have to take out my TJ Oshie jersey. I hope that I'm not jinxing it because, this shot was right off the post. It went right to him, but it was a bouncing thing, and he tried to swipe at it, and then it just deflected down, and unfortunately, they took a couple extra whacks at it, and obviously Arizona wasn't happy about that, and it caused a little bit of a melee out in front of that game. So there's 5 seconds left in this power play. There's still plenty of time left in this hockey game. With 8:36 left in the second, and about 5 seconds left. Now 5 seconds for 4-on-4 because Kuzi got caught with the cross check as part of some of that flicking. So Kuzi gets to the bench, 4-on-4 for 5 seconds, or they'll have a power play for a minute 55 in that matchup. But it was an exciting Redskins win. I was really excited about how it all went down. I obviously only got to watch the most exciting part of the game, but from what I was watching, I was amazed that the defense can hold on to the game, especially at one point in the car. I got an update that said that there was a fumble that was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown when we lost the lead, and then I only got a next update where it said, just kidding, he was actually down. So there's obviously a lot of highs and lows in this game that we didn't necessarily address all of it, but there's a fumble overall by a running back that is a bit of a problem, and there's a couple of other plays that we could definitely do better, but I definitely appreciate Will Compton and his ability to get a key interception, and I thought that our defense played really well. I made just enough plays against the overall came to save the day in my book, and so to be able to knock it away at the end there. But it was a great win and something we're going to need to carry forward because we got a tough matchup ahead of us. So we're playing Minnesota Vikings, who are leading the NFC North. And what are some of your thoughts on playing this team in this upcoming week?
Excuse me. We know the history with these two teams. Whenever they play, it either comes down to the last possession or the last quarter. Is always tight. Two defensive teams that is going to hit each other hard all day long. The defense is definitely going to have a lookout for Stephon Diggs. He's a playmaker. He gets in space and he can make things happen. They definitely force feed him the ball, and it's definitely going to be a test. Their offense, I haven't really studied it too much, but I know it's a good offense. They have good wide receivers. They have a decent running game. Their quarterback, they don't have the quarterback. They Tommy was it Broadwater? No, that's the damn politician. Bridgewater, whatever his name is, he's out hurt, so they have a backup quarterback. So their offense isn't really as good, so they've been leaning on their defense a lot. But they do have a diverse offense and do a lot of motion and do a lot of wide receiver reverse action, which we've seen what happened previous weeks, what happens with the Redskins. We saw Kansas City do it. We saw Dallas do it. We definitely saw the Eagles do it. So it's going to be interesting to see how Manusky, figures out a way to counter that. It's going to be interesting to see who comes back healthy, especially with it being a home game. Maybe Trent might be able to get the start to, solidify Kurt's blind side. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this game plays out. I have the Redskins pulling it out, but until we see that injury report to see who's going to be healthy, I'm going to sit back and wait and see how this pans out. After you finish your breakdown, we can bring in our boxing expert Paul to get his Paul from Charlotte to get his outside the DMV view of this game, and we can get into some boxing talk after we wrap up Redskins talk.
Yeah, so real quickly, Minnesota's on their bye week, which is frustrating. The last game they played, they beat Cleveland 33-16. They definitely play better at home than they do on the road, but I definitely think that it's going to be a really tough matchup for us. Right now, it's even so we don't get our 3-point favorite for being home that you usually get in the NFL. So they obviously are sort of slightly leaning towards Minnesota, but by just making it an even in the early point spread, obviously it's just Monday. But I would be surprised if Minnesota is favored by 1 point when this is all said and done and the final spread comes out. But it'll definitely be an interesting matchup for sure. I'm really nervous about it. I know that Aruna and I will talk a lot more about my picks for this game as part of our pick'em segment at the 9 o'clock hour. We'll see if Paul wants to play this week as well. We know that we have Seth on the line ready to play that game, and I'm sure we'll have other callers as well in a room here in the man cave. But I'm excited for the matchup. I definitely we seem to do better when I pick against us. So that's probably how I'm going to lean, at least at this point in this matchup. And but I know that we've got a couple more comments that were in the Facebook Live, but we can get Paul's thoughts as well.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Paul. He actually got a chance to check the game out. He's superstitious like you, Rob. You don't watch the games because sometimes they play better when we don't watch. So, Paul, what did you? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, fellas. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. Enjoying this Victory Monday. Another great show. Watching his Capitals trying to tie this score on the power play. Just got the kickoff going in the Green Bay-Detroit game. Green Bay's receiving the kickoff. He gets tackled at the 23. And got you on real quick before we get into the boxing, your bread and butter. We're going to get your take on what you saw yesterday from this team and what do you expect from them against Minnesota, pending the injury report.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's good to know I'm not the only superstitious person. I swear this game was probably the most I've seen all season combined, like out of all games. I actually was lucked up just enough to see most of the fourth quarter. I turned it on when just before they gave up the long touchdown to Seattle with a minute left. I was like, oh, here they go. They found a way to lose it in crunch time. Because I said, man, they gave them the ball back with too much time, And lo and behold, I said, I told my wife, I thought that epic throw that Kirk made to Quick. I'm not even talking about Dobson's play. I'm talking about that play to Quick. I mean, that's all right there. To me, that was the play of the game. I know his stat line wasn't the best, but a lot of times, some people focus only on stats. I mean, he got downfield when it counted, and like you said, Carol, I've been hard on Jay Gruden since he's been here. It's almost like Kirk Cousins, and I'm not just saying Kirk Cousins because I think he's the only guy on the team, but he's the quarterback. It's almost like his offense is winning despite Jay Gruden. It's like, Jesus, are you going to be creative? He seems almost like he should be a college coach. Some of the plays he calls. The NFL has shifted back to a more power formation type of football because everybody's kind of caught up to this spread stuff. And we seem to still like to, operate out in the shotgun, do these little delayed handoffs. We just don't got the personnel for it. I don't really understand. So I was happy to see him pull it off, and defense definitely stepped up big time.
No doubt, no doubt. Mike Hoffman, a friend of the show, just let us know that Bridgewater will be activated on Wednesday per Ian Rappaport on NFL Network. So that was some breaking news we just got from Mike, friend of the show. You'll be hearing more from him later on. And Robbie, I believe we got a scoring update, and I see a little fisticuffs going on with my man Tom Wilson. What's going on in the Arizona-Washington game?
Yeah, I'm going to do this because it's an Alexander Ovechkin goal. I know that you guys are talking, so I know that you got the full steal of the horn. I wanted to get that out there. Obi had an amazing goal, and then yes, Tom Wilson got to a fight right afterwards. It was glorious. He definitely took that guy to Pound Town, and I think that I definitely think that Paul would have been appreciative of that boxing exhibition right there. So it was quite a little, I guess, fricas, they call it. You know, just a little bit. Nothing too bad. The guys didn't go down. They both stood up, and they both took it like a champ. And so I appreciate the fisticuffs as always, as I know we're about to get in the boxing talk. But yeah, it was a great goal by Ovechkin right from his office. A nice passing play right before it as well. So it ties the game at 2-2. So we'll let our fans know if there's any more scoring throughout the rest of this game or into overtime as part of our podcast. But I'll let you guys finish your football talk and get into some boxing talk.
All right, cool. You made me have to rewind the DVR to check out this goal that you was talking about that Obi made. So, Paul, what are you expecting this? Oh, yeah, that was a hell of a goal from the Obi office. Yeah, that was a hell of a goal, Robbie. I'm mad I missed it live. But, Paul, what do you think about this Minnesota matchup going for Sunday with this home game?
You know, I heard the record of Minnesota was 6-2, and I said, Jesus, who's playing quarterback? Right? Last time, I don't. Is Sam Bradford still hurt, or is he back active?
Bridgewater is hurt, and I think is Bradford still the quarterback in Minnesota, Robbie? I'm not even sure my damn self.
Well, I thought he was there already.
No, he's injured too. So it's actually a third guy.
some third guy. That should probably on the back of his jersey. Some third guy.
Third guy. Zero.
Oh, Case Keenum. Okay, he's a journeyman. He's a good game manager. He's mobile and he has a decent arm. So he's a serviceable backup. That probably explains why their record. Like I said, their defense has been playing stellar, and they have a good running game, and they have a very diverse offense where they mix it up and use a lot of misdirection.
You know, sometimes losing that play benefits the offense because it forces you to spread the ball around and be more diverse. So I think that may be a situation up there in Minnesota that kind of worries me with this team, especially when you don't know if Bridgewater just coming back and he's going to be the second quarterback, or are they going to actually let him come back and play for the first time in 2 years? Because with that situation, you really don't know what to expect, you know?
Well, I don't think they're going to throw him out there to fray like that. I think they'll just activate him and let him get his bearings back. I don't think they'll just throw him out there to the wolves off the break, especially way the Redskins defense was looking last week. What do you think, Robin?
Well, so they did have a bye week last week, so that might change things. You know, if you activate off a bye week and add an extra week to get acclimated with starters, I don't know if they have the rule as the Redskins do that during the bye week, you know, they take automatic time off, or if they would work with him. You know, there's a lot of questions. There's obviously a lot of stuff they wouldn't put out there for us to know. So it's tough to know, but Kansas did really well. 230 yards per touchdown, 3 interceptions, has an 88.8 rating, but a 63.9% completion rate. So he obviously is a good game manager, as you were talking about, Carroll, and he got a big win against the Browns, who are obviously terrible, but still important to get a win in the NFL. So it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup for sure. Griffin has 10 sacks for them. He's pretty good as well. So Jefferson Griffin, number 97.
Yeah, I know who it is. I didn't know he had 10 sacks. Wow, he's beasting this year. Last year he was stepping up. I think he's a fourth-year player, so he's definitely showing that he was a top draft pick for a reason. Wow, 10 sacks already. That's crazy. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this Facebook Live feed unless anybody else have any other comments or questions. Guess I'll go ahead and ask at the I ain't even going to ask for a prediction injury chart too long. I don't even want to even try to get into it. But I appreciate everybody chiming in. We're going to go ahead in this Redskins talk. And we're going to get